Hi, I am Saket Bansal, and in this video, I am assisting you to explore PfMP Portfolio Management Professional application process. As you understand, in case of PfMP, the application goes through critical review, they call it panel review, and only after passing the application panel review, you can give the PfMP exam. So in a way, it is step one of your PfMP certification. Other than this video, you can also take assistance from me in putting your PfMP application in a strong manner to the PMI. We do sell application services and exam support for PfMP exam. Let's explore the PfMP application by visiting the PMI website. You can create your free login at pmi.org. If you have done any other PMI certificate, you must be having your PMI account already. If not, it's a good time you create your account at pmi.org. Once you finish the login process, you can navigate to certification and reach to PfMP page. There are other paths also to reach to application, but I'm showing this one because for the new learner, this might be easy. And this is the page where you can find all the details related to PfMP application. And on the same page, here you may see an option called Apply Now. Yeah. And in my case, it is coming complete application. If you have played with the application a little bit, then it will come as a complete application. So you click on this button and then PMI takes you, the website takes you to the interface where you can fill the details for your PfMP exam. Now, the first thing you see is educational details. Now, you understand that PMI has put eligibility criteria which has a relationship with the education you have in your profile. Yeah, so that is something related topic. Now, I can show you the PMI handbook, and here they talk about that if you have done 4 years bachelor degree, then you need to demonstrate 8 years of professional business experience, and then you need to demonstrate 4 years or 48 months of portfolio experience. But in case if you have not done a bachelor degree, say you have done a secondary diploma, then the professional experience remains the 8 years, but you need to demonstrate 7 years of portfolio management experience. And there are some other options as well. Most of you will fall here. So I am basically focusing on this area. That then in the PfMP application, what I need to do, I need to first write about my educational background. So I need to show that I have a bachelor degree, a 4 years bachelor degree. That is something I will show. Then I need to, or maybe more than that, or global equivalent. Then I need to show I have a 8 years of professional working business experience. And then I need to show I have a 48 months of portfolio management experience. Now I'm going back to the place where we can fill these details, that pmi.org and login details, which we already used. So here I need to put basic details like which country you studied, what was the bachelor degree, when you started, when you ended, what was the name of the institute, and then you put a study field. It doesn't have to be an engineering degree. You may have done an MBA. You can put that. You can put a highest degree information. You can put more than one also, but that is something you can pick it from the drop down. If you have done master degrees, doctorate degrees, you can put that as well. So bachelor and above is good enough to make you just fill the 4 years of portfolio management experience. And this is something you save. And as you save, it will show you that, yeah, you have a degree achieved. So it will show you some green tick, and then you can move forward to the next section. Yeah. So first is that you need to put your bachelor degree, and then you go to business experience. The business experience is a very basic in nature. Sometimes individuals get confused, what I need to put in a business experience. It is like that you are working in the organizations in a professional setup. You are not working as a freelancer. You are not working in the environment where you might be doing portfolio management, but it is not formal. Yeah, say you are managing portfolio of your house. Yeah, so that will not be considered as an overall experience. So they want the person should be having experience of working in industry. Yeah, that is something you need to write, and it should be minimum 8 years or 96 months, you can talk about which company you work in and when you started working in this particular company, and then you can add one more if the duration is not completed. So you can talk about that, what is your business experience title. So say you may tell, director delivery or something like this. Yeah. Then you can talk about your organization. Then you can talk about your job title. If you may have a portfolio manager as a job title, the business experience title, job title may a little bit relate, but business experience title is basically talking about that overall what kind of work you were doing. And then you may say the job title was portfolio manager or a program manager, whatever the word suitable, because it is not a portfolio management experience as of now. And then you talk about what is your reporting area, the where in which particular section of the organization you were belonging to. You can say others also in case you are not finding it appropriate, and type maybe something like this. And then you can talk about your organization type, what kind of organization you worked in. These are basically the information fields only. Yeah, they don't get too much checked. The only importance is that you need to have a proper start date and end date for these, so that it shows that you have around 8 years. In case of you have put the bachelor degree already, then you can say, this is something I have been working on. So for example, I'm putting 2012. I can say in progress also, so that I don't have to write the end date. That's it. Now, can I write anything randomly here? Answer is no, because in case 1 or 2% individuals may get selected for audit. And if you get selected for audit, the PMI may ask, you need to ask someone to say that, yes, I worked in this organization from this year to this year as this particular role with this particular title. And that's the reason you need to have that particular clarity. That is something is needed. So it is not expecting, the PMI is not expecting that you demonstrate 8 years of portfolio management experience. It is expecting that you demonstrate that you are working in the business or in the industry. That's it. It's a simple, straightforward thing. You save it and you move forward. Then the main game will start, and which is your overall experience. Now they tell, this is a green thing which will keep coming in. So it is writing, we needed 96 months of experience, but you already put more than that. Yeah, something. I have not checked. I think I put maybe more than 2012 till now. So it becomes around 13, 14 years. Yeah, I could have put less also, but you can keep looking at this green tick. Say if you have worked for 20 plus years, most of you who are going for portfolio management must have worked for more than 20 years. You don't have to explain all 20. You just focus on the recent 8-10 years only. Reason being, in case you get selected for the audit, then you need to get some references from your old experiences as well, because whatever you are putting it here, for a 1 or 2% chance, you should be ready to provide references to justify that. So go for minimum which is needed for the application. Now, once it is done, then you proceed for portfolio experience. Now here, the main thing is starting. So first is defining a portfolio, and then explaining the experience related details. We call it experience summary. The experience summary is something which will get reviewed by panel. Yeah, so that is there. Portfolio experience and business experience and education will reviewed by PMI before they forward your application to the panel. Yeah. So PMI usually give more attention. These are definitely checkbox. Education and business experience is a checkbox, but they need to see portfolio experience should look relevant, because if they don't do a proper review, then panel may reject it in the initial stage only. So they need to make sure that they are ensuring the person is really demonstrating portfolio management experience. So here you need to talk about what is your portfolio. There are some description, the information field, and then there is a detailed a summary which you need to write. So this is something you should give good attention to. You may talk about your portfolio target title, so the name of the portfolio. So first and foremost thing is, when we are putting the PfMP application, we should be very clear about what is portfolio. Yeah? Because if that thing is not clear, our exam is also not going to work, and our experience is also not right for the PfMP certification. So we understand portfolio is a collection of projects, programs, or operations which are put together to achieve or assist organization in achieving their strategic objective. The portfolio is more like a strategic alignment focused group, not an execution focused group. It's not like I'm responsible for running 10 projects. It's not like that. I'm responsible for ensuring alignment to the strategic goal and profitability of 10 and 5 programs which are under me, but I'm not responsible for running them. Yeah, that's the mindset. We should be very clear. Now, these projects and programs could be connected or could be or independent also, but usually the organization will have some grouping and they will give a name to a portfolio so they understand it. For example, I might be working in the IT company and we may have a group which takes care of financial sector. Yeah, and we may say we have a banking and financial sector, and this is something is my portfolio. So I may give a name to my portfolio that okay, I am focusing on BFSI portfolio. There is a possibility some of you might be working in IT area and you may have a cloud related services and you may have a portfolio named cloud services portfolio, which involves multiple projects, programs, and which also has a running support system which takes care of cloud related business. That could also be the case. So depending upon what portfolio you are targeting, you need to put that particular name. You can have more than one portfolio, and then this name also will become important. When you talk about the portfolio summaries later on, experience summary, then you need to pick up appropriate portfolio. So you start with giving a title to it. Then you explain about your name of the organization. Yeah, that's something you write. Simple. Job title. So I don't necessarily have to put into a drop down. There are many organizations which are also registered by PMI directly, but you can put it your own name as well. And job title, you may have a title like director only. It's not necessary that you must have a specific target title called portfolio manager. But in case you have a portfolio manager kind of a target, title, you put it there. Yeah. So title is not important, role is important. So I may have a title called senior director, junior director, vice president, sales or something, but I am doing the portfolio management, still I will qualify. So make sure that you use the title which is easy to get validated in case you get picked up for the audit. Now, similarly, you talk about what is your functional area, which might be coming based on in which sector you work in. And then you may also talk about where do you focus. Overall, these are informations only. You can pick up consultancy. Now, here they talk about to get a feel, what kind of work and complexity of your portfolio, number of projects and programs coming under your portfolio. Now, I would say that in general, it should start from 4 minimum. Yeah, having less than 4 may looks like little too light, and you need to be specific, as per your organization. But I think 4 is a minimum thing. 6, 7 is a good number. 10, 11 plus may become a little complicated, but you need to reflect what is your reality. So you talk about number of projects and programs, and then you need to talk about the budget. You can also focus on picking up classified, if you want to. That's there. But if it is not that sensitive, you can say up to 1 million. If you have a small portfolio, or if you know that that the portfolio size is bigger, you can pick up appropriately. Or if you see, I have a reason and because now many times why to put a classified? Sometimes people have a non-disclosure clauses, and I faced some situations like this when the application got picked up for the audit, and person became little uncomfortable because he has mentioned the budget, but if the people who are expected to say that this is the right information come to know this budget and all information is available in the application, they may not like it. So think little holistically. Just don't think of filling the details here. Think that there is a possibility this application may come in the audit, and then someone has to review this. So better I can keep it as per my agreement with the organization. So if classified is the good option, you pick up the good option. Now, you talk about portfolio start date and your engagement in the portfolio start date, and then you talk about is it in progress or something which is finished. Now, see, from a PMI perspective, the portfolios are expected to be long lasting, but still they may get dismantled after some time. For example, the organization might be selling the cloud services, But after selling it for 10 years, they may say cloud services are not making much sense. Now business size is less. Let's merge it with something else. Yeah, and let's not maintain this as a portfolio. Or they may decide we want to get out of this business, that let's close this portfolio. So portfolio, the way you are managing those collection of projects, programs, or that strategic unit of the organization may get reorganized and dismantled over a period of time. So that is how you show your end date of the portfolio. And there is another possibility is that you leave the organization. Yeah, so you can say portfolio was running, but I worked from this time to this time, then that will be your end date. If you are working in the organization continuously, then you put it in progress, and you can have a previous experiences you put in the after. You can have a multiple record. Once you save experience, you can add more experiences. Yeah, that's there. Now, overall, the upper field is just info. Yeah, but still you need to strategically and rightly put this info. The main thing is here. So you need to give high level description that summarizes your experience and includes portfolio objective. So PMI is giving clear understanding to you, outcome, your role in the portfolio, and responsibility and deliverables. Yeah, so this is something I need to mention, and I need to give it in up to 500 words. So my recommendation is use all 500 words. Don't just try to write it in 100 words only. The more you elaborate, the better it is. Now I can say what PMI is asking. Yeah, PMI is asking that you need to give me this all. Yeah, portfolio objective, portfolio outcome, your role of the portfolio, and your responsibility, and the deliverable. So I can say this, my role and responsibilities anyway, very clear. My recommendation is that out of your 500 words, probably you spend around 150 to 200 words on this area only, yeah, where you explain your roles and responsibilities and deliverable in this particular portfolio. Yeah, that's there. Now somebody will say, what about others? Others you put to set a context. Yeah, so what is the portfolio objective? What were the outcomes which came? You can also talk about the matrices and all. So here you need to make a little story so people can connect to what is your portfolio. So usually my recommendation is you start with organization context. So you tell, my company was in this stage, or you may tell that this my company was already having this portfolio from the last 5 years and I joined in. So give that detail. So first thing is, let me more structuredly say, first tell about your company only. Yeah, the company business size, the market they deal with, the type of industry they are in, the type of competition they are facing. You just talk about company in the context. Yeah, once the company is done, then you talk about current strategy of the organization. Yeah, so what kind of direction they are heading towards. Now from that strategy, then you start talking about how this strategy led to create your portfolio strategy. Yeah, so you may talk about, to take care of this work, my company has initiated a portfolio of X. Yeah, so you define strategic direction of that portfolio. Yeah, now once you define that portfolio strategic direction, overall connected, this direction was coming to you. Now you have an objective, you wanted to do something about it. So your company want to say get into cloud business. They want to target up to X million of sales every year on a cloud business. They want to have a margin of Y dollar or Y percentage in the cloud business. So you talk about, because the organization wants to diversify from their current mainframe application business. So that's the overall strategy, diversification. And because of that, your portfolio has an objective to discover, invest into those areas which can give us growth for next 10, 20 years, and overall around cloud technology, for example. So you have a org strategy, from org strategy, the portfolio strategy coming in, and then specific portfolio objectives are coming in. Now objective, you can put it in a more clear metrics format also, like sales increase, the market size, diversification, customer satisfaction, all those things which are relevant. Yeah, but don't try shy giving the specific details, but that's something you need to put. Yeah, from a portfolio objective perspective. Now, what has been happening till now? So you can also talk about what has been achieved till now. Yeah. So over a period of time, these deliverables has been produced. These kind of market value has been captured. And you may also a little bit talk about some of the failures we have observed and what kind of initiative has been adjusted. So little bit detail about those things. Now, all these things overall, the upper part, should shrink in around 100 words. Yeah. So say you are keeping around 150 to 200 words for your roles and responsibility. The upper portion should be there, but up to maximum 150 words. Yeah. Now, after that, the PMI is not explaining, but I believe you should put that. You should put a detail of your portfolio. And I think you can allocate around 100 words for it. Yeah. Now, this detail of your portfolio should talk about the projects, programs, and the operations which are coming under your portfolio. This will also set a right mindset for upcoming application summaries, because I will talk about, we have been doing, say, a project for new product development. Yeah. Maybe you have a implementation projects running in. You may have a support center running in, CRM support, which is coming under you, under your portfolio. So those kind of, you may have a large scale program running in. So all those things with little detail that in my portfolio, because you already gave a count. Yeah, you already gave a count here. You should be consistent, but you talk about that what projects, program, and operational units or PMO units which were working together to achieve that particular strategic objective. Now, what is the reason I am telling? Because it gives you, it gives the reader a real insight about what is your portfolio, and it will also give you a clear thought when you are going to experience summary answers. So this way you should fill your application here. Now, I know I can't go forward till the time I put 200 words, so I'm just taking a shortcut and copy pasting it few times, yeah, just till the time it becomes 200. Yeah, but again, it's just for the trick for showing this particular demo. But your description should be nice and should be covering minimum 500 words. Yeah. Now, as I said, we do assist you in as a paid service in writing PfMP application. That is any way you can connect. But if you have a specific query and you don't want to take application services also, you can post in a YouTube comments also. Yeah, I will definitely respond to your queries. But overall, with this guidance, hopefully you get your portfolio experience right. Yeah. Now you just save and it will take you to the next section. Now here, since I put everything for more than 48 months, I got green directly. If it is less, then I can add more. Yeah, so remove experience, edit experience. Since my experience is already qualified, so it is not putting that. But if it is not filled, it will help me to add more. Yeah, so I can add more portfolios also for my experience. It's not like one portfolio itself should be 4 years. You might have joined a company recently. There could be a gap between current portfolio work and previous portfolio work. You might have done project management, program management in between, no problem. You know, this 8 years should come in the last 15 years. So you don't necessarily have to show this in a continuation. Yeah, that is something you can definitely read from your PfMP handbook. This is a PfMP handbook which you can download from a PMI website as you start thinking about PfMP application or the exam. This book gives you all the guidance. Yeah, so this book is here, which looks like this. And yeah, it is available at a pmi.org PfMP page. Yeah. There are two booklets. One is a handbook for exam, which is this one. And then another one is exam content outline. So these two booklets are very good and important. And this booklet also talks about what is going to be process, flow, and steps. Rather than I make a separate slides and talk about it, I just want to point you that go to the PMI authentic information, because things may change a little bit here and there over a period of time. So you should know that I need to see the handbook from PMI. Coming back, moving forward, and then we say, okay, I want to go to next step, portfolio, continue with the experience summaries. So majorly, when individual take assistance from me, they take assistance from first writing a portfolio experience, and then for writing the experience summary. Yeah, this is the major focus area. Now, before we continue further, I want to show you that on a pmi.org, when you go, you can also see on a same PfMP page, yeah, there is a section where you can get something called exam content outline. Yeah, ECU, exam content outline. And you can click a download button and it will show you the content. Now you will say, this guy is going here, but I think I was talking about application. What is happening here? Because the experience summary is trying to judge you based on what PMI expect from a portfolio manager. Yeah. And what PMI expect from a portfolio manager, they put it in the format of exam content outline tasks, because your exam will also come out of that only. Yeah. So what PMI expect is the portfolio manager should be working in 5 domains: strategy, governance, performance, this kind of domain, the communication, risk. So they are here. Yeah. Now, overall, for each domain, there are some tasks which are expected from the portfolio manager, which are explained here. Now, when I am filling the application, yeah, they are actually trying to see my description of where these tasks really come alive. Yeah, but not by just copying pasting the tasks which are written here, but by really demonstrating some examples and cases. If I put that, I'm done. Yeah. So now going back to the application, here I have these 5 experience summary details, yeah, which is equivalent to 5 domain of exam content outline. Now, in each summary detail, I have 2 alternatives. Just to make your life little simple, they are saying, you can choose which answer you want to give. You need to definitely select the portfolio as we saved before. And accordingly, you need to fill the information in 500 words, up to 500 words. Yeah, that's something you need to do. That's it for all the 5 domains. Now, let's try to understand what are those questions and how possibly we can answer that. Now, in a strategic alignment, they are asking one option. You need to choose one of it. Yeah, you can say I'm giving option A or option B, and accordingly you need to fill the answer. Identify and prioritize portfolio criteria. Evaluate portfolio component priorities based on the organization's strategic goals and objective. Yeah, that's one thing. Another one is create or update portfolio roadmap based on organization strategic goals and objective. Yeah. So here the topic is strategic alignment. The first is basically focusing on how do we prioritize, what kind of prioritization model I put into place, and how I have done evaluation of my portfolio by using this portfolio prioritization criteria and also ensuring they meet the strategic objective. Yeah, that is what I have to answer if I choose this. Now, whichever you choose, you need to see a little bit more details from the exam content outline. And this one is barely, I feel this one is relatively easy because the prioritization model also has a little bit overlap in a governance domain and a strategic alignment domain. So from a perspective of just writer and panel reviewer, if you are writing this, then you need to take some portion from governance domain as well, because doing prioritization is continued activity. But this one is pretty much is in a strategic domain, so it is relatively, I feel, is easy. Assuming I'm just taking an example to show how possibly I can do it. So create or update portfolio roadmap based on the organization strategic goals and objective. Okay, now I go to exam content outline and I say, okay, what is expected in the strategic alignment? So they are saying you should be able to review the strategic goal. You should be able to identify prioritization criteria. Now that's the option B. I'm trying to little bit ignore that. Option A. I'm basically focusing on roadmap, but still it makes a little bit sense. Rank the strategic opportunities with a key stakeholder using qualitative and quantitative methods. Identify existing portfolio component. Create portfolio scenarios. Recommend portfolio scenarios. Determine portfolio component due to change. This is a strategic change. You can ignore it for a while because if you are talking about preparing the roadmap, yeah, but there could be a possibility you are answering the question in the format of continuous strategic alignment. Yeah, that's also a possibility. And then finally, the last task talks about now, not to take this portfolio as a project that, we are starting the project and then we need to create a direction and the roadmap. Yeah. Yes, portfolio will get started at some point in time, but during that time also these strategic alignment activities will happen. But portfolio is going to live for say 10 years. The strategic realignment and focus keeps happening. So depending upon how you map your experience, if you see that your organization was already having a portfolio and you are just joining in, then you need to focus on the whole topic from the focus of revisit. Like every 2 years or every 1 year, we go through a critical review of our strategy. And based on that, we align our work and we put the things. And finally, we have a roadmap which gives high level direction and which also ensures that everyone is clear how the various component will help us in achieving the strategic objective. Yeah. So first, in this particular answer, in a strategic domain answer, you need to identify you are focusing on first time portfolio initiation or you are focusing on revisit, strategic realignment option, periodic strategic realignment. Now, strategic realignment can also happen two ways. One is a periodic and another is an exception based. Something happened and that's why we are doing it. Yeah. So out of those three, you pick up a clear condition. I feel it will be easy. You take it that you are doing periodic realignment, or you may talk about a situation where you have a new portfolio generation. So you pick that situation. Now, yes, you are needing to reach to a roadmap creation. I'm just giving an example for one. So you need to start about how I have studied organization strategic goal. Now you might have attended meeting, your organization may be having every 2 years a strategic review meeting. You might have done a competitor analysis. You might have studied what all projects and profitability was there in the previous years, what kind of new demands are coming in. You might have conducted stakeholder survey. So talk about specific things. Just don't say I did a qualitative and quantitative analysis. Don't say that. I took a stakeholder perspective to identify prioritization criteria. That is not enough. Yeah, you need to focus on I created a survey or I went for a strategic one-on-one meeting with key stakeholder. Give a name of those key stakeholder rather than key stakeholder. I met the CEO, I met the business unit head, I met the client representative, and then we conducted a brainstorming session to understand what their needs and expectations are. I also understood what kind of limitations and compliance criticality initiatives are coming in. So talk about that. Then you have understood the organization strategic direction because you need to reach to a roadmap. Then you realign the direction of your own portfolio. You make sure that you take an alignment on prioritization model. If you are answering option B, you don't go much detail into it, but specific details. And then you talk about how you prepared the roadmap, what kind of challenges you faced, techniques you applied, like dependency analysis, constraints, the capacity limits, the market window, opportunities windows, compliance related factors, some stakeholder push and pull. Talk about that. And then you say, okay, this is how we prepared it. And then finally we had a roadmap and we could present it to the management and they were happy with it. It went through few reviews. And then we prepared it and we ensure that the portfolio roadmap clearly talks about which project will happen when and how various strategic objective over a period of 1 year, 2 year will get achieved. Yeah. There is no harm giving a sample high level roadmap in the description. There is no harm. Yeah. So as specific you can, you need to become that rather than just writing the exam content outline. I would say exam content outline is an important source to give you a basic knowledge about it. But rather than saying, I did a portfolio what if analysis, you need to explain what if analysis you did. We explored various alternative of outsourcing, in-house development, automation, not automation. Give that example. Yeah. Option analysis, you write those options. Yeah. The type of SWOT you had, you give a little hint of opportunities and threats you faced. If you give that, then the reviewer will be happy. If you just say we did an option analysis, then reviewer may give you a comment. It looks like a bookish answer. Yeah. So that way you need to answer your all the options. Yeah. So similarly, first you choose and then you go in detail. Similarly, governance, define and implement governance framework or implement it to enhance the government aspects of the portfolio management plan in order to support the portfolio goals and objective. So similarly, when we talk about governance, you look at a governance section. Yeah. and then you choose whichever question you want to take. There are two options, and based on that you go to the governance section of your exam content outline, and you pick up the appropriate pointers. Now these pointers need to be explained. Yeah. So for example, here it tells, you are preparing a portfolio management plan which includes all these things. Yeah. So when you are explaining the portfolio management plan, you need to give an example of all these things. Just don't write this English alone. Yeah. So now you compare here, and you don't just say that I prepared a portfolio management plan and did all this. I know these are the aspects of the portfolio management plan, but I am going to be more specific out of it. Yeah. So implemented and enhanced the governance aspect of the portfolio management plan in support to portfolio goals and objective. So basically you focus on governance thresholds and all those governance models, whatever you see, there are specific details related to governance, and you can find more details from your exam content outline, but you need to be more detailed one. Yeah. So the whole aspect is for these questions. If you answer these questions well, practically you are ready for exam. Yeah. In a way, answering these questions may make you think more deeper than you give your online exam. That is my observation. And that's what I believe. This is a very rewarding exercise, but yes, you need to do it. So overall, focus on understanding the 5 domains, take references from your ECO, think of specific details, not just typing what you have read from the standard or from the ECO, then you are ready. And another thing is, whenever possible, give example. Yeah. Say, if you're talking about governance, may give a small example of governance plan which you are following in your portfolio. When you are talking about communication, why don't you give a little explanation about or a sample of the small brief, again, brief enough, a communication plan which you have in your portfolio, the type of meetings you do, the type of escalation models you have for communication. In case of PfMP, the stakeholder engagement is also part of communication. So as per the prompt you choose, but bring the examples. Yeah. You read your answer a few times and say, is it look like a book, or is it looking like that some stories are coming very clearly? Yeah. Just not the keywords which I pick up from the portfolio standard. Sometimes I tell, be a little choosy about picking up the keywords. Yeah. So rather than say I use a word, a specific which is very jargon oriented, like a what if analysis, I explain, we did a comparison between these two things and created 2 scenarios out of it. Yeah. So actually I'm talking about what if analysis, but I am giving little detail. So that way I need to fill my PfMP application, and overall, once you submit, PMI has their own timelines, but usually they give it fast. Yeah. So whatever promised timeline you see in the diagram of PMI handbook, most likely they will respond you faster than that. In our observations, we got responses within a week, yeah, rather than taking the time which they tell they will take. Yeah. So they usually, I think, ask for 60 days. I'm just trying to see if I can see the map, the diagram which they have. So this is the diagram you can see in the PMI's PfMP handbook, and they talk about, once you initiate the application, you should be finishing it in 90 days. But if you don't finish it, again, you can restart it. And then PMI takes around 10 days for doing completeness review check. In practice, they may do it in 24 hours, yeah, maybe maximum 48 hours, but they will do a completeness check. Once they do a completeness check, there is a chance of getting picked up for the audit. It will come here only. Yeah, if you are done through that, they ask you to make the payment. Yeah, so that's there. So if that step was not there, great, then you need to pay the fee. Before they send it to panel review, they ask you to make the payment. Yeah. Now, if you don't succeed in the panel review, they will refund your money. Yeah? That is something there, but you need to make the payment. And the fee of PfMP application exam depends upon the area you are applying from. Yeah, for US, it is around $800 for a member, $1,000 for non-member, and similarly you will see for different country that you can see from a pmi.org website. And then they tell, panel review take approximate 60 days. In our observation, it take approximate 7 days, not 60 days, but yeah, it can. You can say 7 to 15 days. Yeah, that much is a expectation you can have. But if you want to do PfMP exam in a month, I think minimum you should apply for application 30 days in advance, because there could be a plus minus. Yeah. Now, once it is done, once your application is approved, you get a 1 year time to give the exam. Yeah. So you don't have to give the exam just after finishing the application. You have a 1 year time period. Now, as usual, you might have studied in other PMI application exams. You get an eligibility ID, and you can schedule the exam as per your convenience, as per the availability anytime. Yeah, that's something there. So that's a Pearson separate website, but PMI guide you how to do that. In my case, we have so many centers nearby. So for me, it is so easy that if I want to schedule an exam, I can schedule it 12 hours in advance. That's it. Yeah, I don't have to do it too ahead planning. But depending upon what kind of centers you have, you need to schedule that. Then you take the exam, yeah, and you get certified. That's something you do. Exam is a 170 questions in a 4 hours, no scheduled break, but you can take break, but time will keep running. And for each center, taking break is also has a little overheads because they will check you before you go back into the room. So if you want to take a 2 minutes break, it will consume 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes. Yeah, that's something is there. Yeah, so like people like me don't take break, but yeah, if you have some urgency, you may end up taking break. Time will not be an issue. Usually the questions are not that descriptive. You should be able to do it in 4 hours. And then the renewal cycle, you don't have to worry about it right now, but yeah, you know, it's every 3 years there is a renewal process, and then you need to pay some renewal fee, which is usually $150, and then you need to also submit some PDUs, and that's something continues. That's something same with all the PMI exams. Yeah. So this is all for your PfMP application. Any specific queries, drop a message. If you need specific assistance in filling the application, connect with us. We do have a service to support you. If you need test prep, mock test, you connect with us. We do have a 50 free videos on our YouTube channel. I recommend you study them. They are useful to make you ready for your PfMP exam. The same 50 videos, we also put it as a quiz in our website. So if you want to take them as a running quiz, you can also do that. So these all resources are available from our site. And more than that, you can connect with us to get specific assistance through our program. Thank you for watching our PfMP application video.